he was shot at least once. But he was stabbed several times. Can you recall how many times he stabbed him?
No, I can't.
You know, he said that he wanted his intestines to be exposed. That's how close it was to his, losing his life.
Beware of the quiet one. It's the quiet person in the room who might be the most violent, the most dangerous. Well, I think she checks those boxes. Don't be fooled by her timidness. She is timid, but she is violent. She was involved in this the charge was attempted murder. She stabbed the man in the stomach. Her co-defendant shot him in the chest in this robbery, and she somehow only got 6 years and 6 months. And that's not all. Her jacket, it's full of crimes from juvie up until being in prison, catching a felony assault charge in prison. And here she is up for parole. I'll go through all the details at the end. For now, let's jump in.
My name is Corianna Jenkins. My number is 429-557.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Corianna Jenkins, number 429-557. She is serving a sentence of 30 years, execution suspended after 6 years, and 6 months with 5 years probation for assault 1 and robbery 1. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of August 26, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the following programs. Currently participating in Voices program and has a job in food prep. Utilizing the Women's Risk Needs Assessment, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the low range. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted a parole. You may begin.
Okay. At the age of 18, I'm gonna read my letter.
Please.
At the age of 18, I didn't realize how thoughtless my actions were. I wasn't aware of the actual impact my actions can cause as well as the impact others can have on me. I used violence to express my feelings without knowing the damage it caused. I am extremely remorseful for the pain and anguish I've caused. My wrongdoing not only affected my victim and I, but his family, my co-defendant, his family, and the community. While incarcerated, I've had the opportunity to gain a different perspective of how I want to live my life. From the positive influences I have, I want to continue to thrive at becoming a better person who can learn from their mistakes, someone who can be trusted, dependable, honest, compassionate, receptive, and goal-oriented. Participating in groups and programs, continuing school, and having my job has given me the insight to becoming a better person. Holding myself accountable for my actions is important to my growth. I don't just think about how my decisions affect me, but how they affect others. I've learned that regardless of the negative impact my childhood had on me, the circumstances, the influences I have in my life, the hardships I encounter, how people treat me, I am in control of my actions. Losing my grandmother while being in here has made me realize the value of time. I took time for granted thinking I had so much more of it, but it was never a guarantee. I've lost a lot of time I can't get back, but I plan on making the most with the time I have left while incarcerated and when I am released.
That it? Ms. Jenkins?
Awesome. Yeah. I was gonna say, I also have a letter from Defy, one of the programs I'm
What
completed
is
here.
it? Which program?
Defy. Should I read that now or?
Different.
Sure. Yeah. Is it a very long letter?
No, it's not that long.
Go ahead.
Okay. We hope you find this letter hopeful and answering an important question. Is Ms. Jenkins ready to re-enter society and function as a law-abiding citizen? We are proud to report that Ms. Jenkins has successfully completed the 5 Ventures rigorous re-entry preparation program, CEO of Your New Life. Through the CEO YNL program, Ms. Jenkins engaged in a 7-month intensive course with a 1,200-page curriculum that covers employment readiness, personal development, and wellness, comprehensive reentry planning, and business concepts. The CEO YNL program used in prisons nationally specifically addresses criminal thinking errors such as lack of effort and lack of interest in responsible performance through courses such as fear of failure and consequence trials, and combats closed channel thinking by building and repeated opportunities for feedback and revision. With the skills and mindset acquired in the Defy Venture CEO YNL program, Ms. Jenkins will have credibility with potential employers and a better chance at successful reentry. To provide further support, Parole Days Defy Ventures offers our post-release alumni association programs, which provides strong accountability through case management, referrals to essential community-based resources, connection to pro-social activities, employment assistance, and job placement, ongoing workshops, mentoring, and coaching from business professionals, and a dedicated support network. We stand proudly behind the accomplishments of our participants. Defy's post-release recidivism rate of less than 10% and employment rate of 84% that demonstrates that our participants are truly able to put the criminal lifestyle behind them.
Okay. And if you were spelling the name of that program, it's Devise, DEVISE?
No, it's Defy, DEFY.
Defy, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the opening statement and thank you for reading that letter.
Welcome.
So you haven't been here before. What we're going to do is we've read about your background. We've read about what happened in October 2018. We've read about your experience in DOC. Based upon that, we have some questions. Then we're going to talk about your suitability for parole and give you a decision, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to start with questions today. So, you know, you don't have a very extensive criminal history. In fact, the only prior to this, you didn't have any criminal history, right?
Yes.
And you know, the thing is that when we start off this way, it's extremely concerning, right? And in your description to the parole officer, when they asked you what happened that day, you said like somebody robbed you, so you set them up. That's what?
Well, it was like a revenge. It was for revenge. So it was like someone robbed me. So I had my friend set up the person who robbed me.
Okay. And so what's the problem with that?
What's the problem? That it was wrong. It was reckless.
So one of the things that wasn't included in the statement to the parole officer was some additional things that you might have discovered. You completed Voices now,
Yes,
And when did you do that?
yesterday was the last one.
Okay, so 7/17. So can you reflect a little bit more after having taken voices on what happened on October 16th, 2018?
Yeah, I stabbed my victim and attempted to rob him.
Okay. And you just got done taking voices, right?
Yes,
Okay, so we know what you just said, but how do you apply voices to that?
uh,
Like what you learned in voices, right?
yeah,
So how do you apply that to the fact that you stabbed somebody and you brought somebody else with you that, what did they do
they shot him.
in the chest?
Yes,
So you got 30 years execution suspended after 6 years and 6 months.
yes,
And you were, what, a fraction of an inch away from not having the execution suspended part,
yes,
right? But however, regardless of how you want to get revenge, what did voices teach you about what happened that day?
it taught me how I affected my victim and made me put myself in their shoes, like how in their shoes,
Okay, so put yourself in their shoes.
how it affected him physically, mentally, emotionally.
How do you think that is?
Um, he was in the hospital, so his family was probably scared, didn't know what was gonna happen, probably couldn't work, so it affected him financially. He's probably scared to be in his home, doesn't feel safe. And his family as well. And he was in an apartment complex, so probably his apartment complex doesn't feel safe in their home.
So did he stab you?
No,
Did his friend shoot you in the chest?
no,
See what we're dealing with, right?
yes,
So that's to go from not having had a criminal record at all to that is pretty severe, right?
yes,
So you know, that's very concerning. The you have 11 DRs while you've been in. One of them appears to have resulted in a conviction for assault third. Is that right? When was the assault? The assault third conviction was from when?
Wait, while I was in here, I didn't.
Yeah, you had an unconditional discharge for an assault third in November 22.
That
Was
was
the-
that was
the
outside of
assault?
here.
That was outside of there. So that was prior to this?
Yes,
That was prior to October 16, 2018.
October 16th, 2018.
October 16, 2018 is when the assault first and robbery first are from.
I had
Right.
those charges before.
Okay, and so that assault third, the conviction date was in November 22, but was prior to this, while you're sitting there right now.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what year it was?
2018.
What'd you say?
Do you remember what year the assault third was from?
I think it was from 2018 or 2017, 2018.
So while you've been in, you have, like we just talked about voices. Where you said that you had taken anger management. Where did you take anger management? Was
I
it
took
part of
anger
the-
management. It was, we have not voices. We have groups that are in the middle of our building with the social worker,
Okay,
taking anger management, coping skills, sister standing strong, art therapy.
and okay, good. So, and one of the things that I was concerned about is the beef with the assault first and robbery first. Was it over drugs?
Yes.
Okay, and have you? So one of the things that I was concerned about is when it came to substances, you said you didn't have a problem. But we have a history of marijuana, cocaine, Xanax, and LSD.
Yeah, those were things I tried cocaine and LSD. It wasn't like an ongoing thing.
Okay, so it's wasn't an ongoing thing, and you've been down for 6 years, right? Pretty close to it.
Yes.
And no use inside, right?
No.
In terms of employment outside, I didn't really see a plan that went along with that, but I know that you completed the culinary course, right?
Yeah, culinary, hospitality, and I'm currently in Cosmo.
And you've taken some business courses.
Yes. Defy
Right.
and that's it.
And you're currently in cosmetology. When does that finish up?
I have 1,100 hours and I need 1,500.
So 400 more hours.
Yes.
And what are you doing with cosmetology right now?
We cut hair, dye hair, do nails, feet, waxing.
Okay. And you want to go with your brother in Norwich,
Yes.
but so that's not. I don't believe that's confirmed yet. But do you have another place to go if you're not going there?
Not really.
Okay. I'm gonna pass at this point and see if my other board members have questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Board member Page.
Thank you, for sure. So, Ms. Jenkins, the chair talked to you about her 11 disciplinary infractions. How many of those were for violence? I know you definitely received one for an assault. right?
And then I had a fight.
So what was the assault ticket?
It was me fighting my ex-girlfriend in here
So why was it an assault rather than a fight?
because she didn't hit back.
And what were her injuries?
She didn't really have no injuries.
And this assault ticket, was it before or after you completed that anger management in the middle of
That was before.
And then the fighting ticket, what was that about?
Someone put their hands on me, so I fought back.
And then the chair asked you about this assault third in 2018 that occurred after you stabbed this victim. What was that about?
That was before.
So October 18th, you stabbed this victim. You just told the chair that the 2018 assault third occurred after that. Was it before or after? This happened in October while you're in prison. When did the other assault happen?
Wait, I'm confused.
You have this assault one. The assault one occurred on October 16th, 2018. When did you commit the assault third?
Before.
Before when?
Before the assault first.
How much before?
Like a couple months, maybe.
Okay. And what happened?
Me and a girl had gotten into a fight.
About?
I wanted her to leave my house and she wouldn't leave.
And what did you do to her?
We fought.
Did she have any injuries?
No,
So why did you get an
Okay.
assault third? Was she arrested as well?
no, she wasn't. I didn't report it. She did.
So the problem that I have with your file, Ms. Jenkins, is that there are repeated incidences that involve violence. And although the victim wasn't sure about how many, I know he was shot at least once, but he was stabbed several times. Can you recall how many times you stabbed him?
No, I can't.
You know, he said that he wanted his intestines to be exposed. That's how close it was to his, losing his life, kind of thing. And you received a illegal operating of a motor vehicle under the influence, and right before this assault. So it looks like it's just a number of poor decision after poor decision after poor decision. And the fact that you have not taken a tier program to address any of your substance abuse issues is a problem for me. Another thing that's a problem for me is the repeated behavior of assaultiveness. You can't resolve your disputes with your hands. You just can't. You're young enough to be, you're only 24, right?
Yes, now I am.
Yeah. You have your whole life ahead of you, and you can't think that this is how you resolve conflict. Any arguments? What happens if you get into an argument with a customer while you're doing her hair? You gonna punch her in the face?
No. Well, I'm 24 now, and I know that violence is not the answer.
Right. Okay, but you knew back in 2022, when you were 22, that you weren't supposed to be making a three-way call, and that you weren't supposed to be in the med line when, you didn't have permission to be in the med line. So regardless of your age, you've made poor decisions along the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I would encourage you, to take advantage of the fact that you are just 24 and that you can change your ways, and just because you've had a rough upbringing and things didn't work out, or you don't have the idea kind of childhood, you cannot allow that to continue to dictate how you behave out in the community, because you're only going to be right back in prison, angry over something that you have no control over. You cannot allow that to control your life. You have so much more potential, you know,
Yes.
and you don't want to be 44 and we're still having this conversation. So, and I see people all the time, Miss Jenkins. You may think I'm just lecturing you, but I'm saying to you that people in your situation, and I know you see people in the prison that are much older than you, that
Yes.
continue to make poor decisions. You have an opportunity to turn your life around, and you really should take advantage of that. This was a horrible crime. You,
No.
you continued the behavior for a number of years, but in your, in the same vein, you've been able to refrain from accumulating any more disciplinary infractions for over 2 years now. So you can do it. You just have to put your mind to it.
I know. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Chair.
Board Member Chance.
So I do agree with both you, Mr. Chair, and Stage's comment. For me, it's just her repeated behavior that happened in the community and then during her incarceration. And I know, is she in the Voices program?
She just completed it
Or
yesterday.
Just completed it. Yeah. She's been down for 7 years. Young person, but I think she really has quite a bit more to learn. Had she not have those, repeated negative behavior, the assault and the fighting and, not abiding by the order, the flagrant disobedience. I think all that is just part of her growing. It was a pretty serious thing. So, wish her best of luck. She's 24, but she's still a lot to learn in terms of how to manage her emotions and how to learn how to not let someone aggravate her to the point where she's going to react in an aggressive manner. And her behavior, she really needs to work on her decision making. I don't think she's been thinking through any of that. She's just been acting out like young kids, but she's 24 and should be doing better.
So Ms. Jenkins, we're going to talk about your case now and give you a decision, okay?
Okay.
So, for me, it's a troubling case, right? Based upon the nature and circumstances of what happened, right? I do see some positive happenings here for Ms. Jenkins. Although she had a very rocky road up until she was, looks like 22 years old, where she accumulated 11 DRs. The most recent of which in 2022 were nonviolent in nature. It's a positive. She's engaged in the culinary program and hospitality program and taken some business courses through Defy, which the letter was read during the hearing. She's also has 1,100 of 1,500 hours in for cosmetology, which is going to help set her up for continued success in the community. She explained her substance use by what many young people do, and that is experimentation type of thing. Hopefully that's all it was, and that continued use isn't going to happen out of it. She has some family support from her brother. There really isn't a major plan when it comes to employment. However, Defy also, based upon that letter, helps with placement, job placement for people who have completed that program. Ms. Jenkins was asked to reapply for DOC community release after she completed the Voices program. So that is an opportunity for her. It's a mechanism there, but you know, the really violent nature of what happened is what I'm struggling with. And as such, I cannot support parole today. Board member Page.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have to admit that coming into this hearing, I had her denied as well. I did not appreciate the nature of the offense. I also did not appreciate the number of disciplinary infractions. And then you add on top of that that she didn't complete a tier program and her drug score was 3. I was just like, no. However, Ms. Jenkins has taken a number of positive strides. She's been able to manage to be in York and not receive any additional disciplinary infractions for 2 years now.
Mhm.
She had excellent evaluations for culinary arts. She's in the cosmetology program. She's working in the food prep. I didn't see anything about her not being compliant in that way, and I know she has 5 years of probation to follow for sentence, but I really feel as if she had that additional support of discretionary parole prior to going out onto probation, she could get a jump start on a job and stable residency and connecting with a supportive network. So I did have her denied, but surprisingly, I'm willing to support her request for discretionary parole. She's very, very young.
So just to
Recap.
discuss a little bit further, right? So my concern, like as I recapped all of everything that happened here, including the Voices piece where she actually really dug down and talked about, once we got there, the impact that she had, and really understands the impact that she had, not only on the victim in this case, but on the community, including the apartment complex that she had, right? And I did talk about that she, her last, she's been over 2 years.
Without violence.
And then, so it's been 3 years since a fight, which that was not an assault, but it was a fight between two. So you're thinking that having the support of PCS and programs that are offered in the community that PCS does when it comes to cases of violent nature like this, that she would get the support that she needs to continue to change. Board Member Chance.
No, that was done in July. I think her presentation today was a lot better. It was than I assume. As a matter of fact, she greatly surprised me today.
Yeah.
And as she was talking, I looked back on her behavior in the community, with these 2 serious charges, and then the DR. So when I look back on her last DR and what she's been doing, and a lot of young people struggle when they first go in. And so she hasn't had any DRs in 2 years. She received very good valuation in the culinary and the cosmetology program. She participated in the DEFI program. So then part of my reason before for denying her was because she didn't have a release plan. But I am familiar with the DEFI program, and they do provide quite a bit of assistance, which includes job search and how they do resume and, how to do interviews and all that kind of thing. So that I didn't have any, record of that she had participated in all of that. So as I am listening to this 24-year-old young lady, I realized that this is her first serious offense, and I am as serious as it is, and based on where she was when she went in and where she is now, I would be willing to grant discretionary so that, she could get every available help. And I know DOC would have approved her after she did the voices, but I also think Parole, their unit is very good on placement and following through with these young individuals. So I would like to give her the opportunity, and we know what happens when she goes out on parole, where she comes back. So I can only hope that she sees this as a good opportunity for her to do better.
Agreed.
So her parole date, August 26th.
Yeah.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
February 26th.
Yes.
I appreciate what you both said. And certainly, she has been doing well, and I laid that out going into this. My concern was over the nature and circumstances of the original offense. So I have halfway house, mental health evaluation and treatment is deemed necessary. No contact with victim AE, and no contact with co-defendant Alexander Santana.
Yeah.
Anything further?
I have
Anger management.
No
and
driving.
Driving.
No driving and anger management.
Say those again, sir.
Yep. So give it to you in the form of a motion in regard to inmate Corianna Jenkins, 429557. I move to grant parole on or after August 26, 2024, with the following conditions. Halfway house placement. Mental health evaluation and treatment is deemed necessary. No operation of a motor vehicle without your parole officer's permission. Community-based treatment for anger management. No contact with victim AE, and no contact with co-defendant Alexander Santana. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Ms. Jenkins, you've been voted to parole.
Thank you.
We put a halfway house on there because as of my last look at the file, parole hadn't talked to your brother yet. So that we put the halfway house on there just in case you don't have another placement to go to. But we really hope that you continue to go in the positive direction you've been going. All right.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. Take care.
Joe.
And what a plot twist. Mike Pohl says no and then gets talked into it. Miss Chan's the only one with common sense. I mean, this is crazy. She is a anyways, let me just tell you, I'll skip ahead. I'll give you some information. So this hearing did take place August 18, 2024. I didn't do the unpacking until August 11, 2025. Or July 18, 2024 is when the hearing happened. I didn't do an unpack until August 11, 2025. And she made it out. She wasn't revoked. And she's finished with her special parole. Her co-defendant, if you were curious about it, is still locked up. He got a whopping 10 years in the Department of Corrections for shooting a man in the chest. They pled down attempted murder to assault first degree. So his maximum release date is October 12th, 2029. That leaves me thinking that we might be seeing him really sometime soon. I don't know. But usually we see people at about this time when they're through their sentence. So I think we're gonna probably see him, and that's gonna be something. Can you imagine? I'll read through the crime in a little bit. But this was an absolute brutal assault. Now they robbed a narcotics dealer. She went on to claim that he had robbed her. I don't know. I don't buy it. They shot him, they stabbed him, he was helicoptered over to hospital and somehow miraculously survived. And the guy who shoots him gets 10 years. And she gets a gift of a sentence. What was the total sentence again? What was it, 6 years and 6 months? And then she picks up new felonies while locked up, or new assault charges. And she's so quiet and so timid, but often they are. And I don't know, just crazy, crazy. You would think that safety of the community and retribution for violent crime like that would have a longer sentence. Let me read to you the information of this case. Thank you, Sir Richard. This was before Lady Holly was helping us. So there's two items that I'll share with you. I love the ads, popping up in my face, videos of basketball games I couldn't care less about. Like, it's really great advertisement. So knee bone pads. I definitely want to look at transfer knee. Like, well, where do they even come up with this stuff? Okay, anyways. So second suspect charged with attempted murder in Wyndham shooting and stabbing. An 18-year-old Plymouth woman has been charged. By the way, she just turned 18 for this crime, but we'll go through that in a second. They tried to anyways, it was crazy. In connection with the October shooting stabbing of an Unksville man in Wyndham State, they said that Jenkins was arrested Friday while Plymouth police were investigating an unrelated incident and learned that there was an active arrest warrant issued for her. She was charged with attempted murder, first-degree assault, second-degree threatening, second-degree breach of peace, first-degree robbery, tampering, sixth-degree larceny, and illegal possession of narcotics. Jenkins was initially held on $1 million bond pending her arraignment. Can you imagine getting off? Jenkins is the second suspect charged in connection with the incident where the 33-year-old Antonio Elchi suffered a stab and gunshot wound. Police in November charged Montville resident Alexander Santana, he got a 10-year sentence, as one of the two people who allegedly assaulted him, according to an arrest warrant. State police at 8:42 p.m. responded to a complex for a report of a shooting. On arrival, a trooper found a male victim in the stairwell, clenching the right side of his chest with blood coming out of his mouth. According to the arrest warrant and affidavit, Elsie was determined to have been shot in the chest and stabbed in the stomach. Can you imagine? On his way to the hospital, he told the ambulance that Santana had shot him. Police said he was later transferred to Hartford Hospital via medical helicopter. Several witnesses reported hearing an argument and the sound of a gunshot, and seconds before he stumbled from his girlfriend's apartment. Police said that the apartment showed signs of a struggle, along with signs of space had been used for narcotic activity. During an October 19th police interview, Elsie, who had been transferred out of an intensive care unit, said Santana arrived at his apartment to buy $40 worth of Pepsi. After returning from the kitchen, Elsie was confronted with a pistol wielding Santana and another person carrying a revolver and a knife. So she had a revolver and a knife in her hand. Elsie said that the pair tried to steal the backpack containing narcotics and money, and the struggle ensued in which the victim was stabbed in the abdomen. The pain that must be. And he tried to take back the backpack containing the devil's lettuce, Pepsi, and cash, and was struck in the mouth. So the guy struck, so he stabbed, he's pistol whipped, and then he shot. He suffered a stomach wound that caused part of his intestine to hang out, along with the gunshot wound that punctured his lung. Santana would pled not guilty to a host of charges, including attempted murder, first-degree assault, due back March 1st. It's just such a brutal, insane crime to think that she was out after serving like 5 years. Okay, this is an interesting article, and then we'll go into the next. So, a teen assault case sealed under new law, attempted murder charge to remain public. Teens assault case sealed under new law, attempted murder charge to remain public. This is so ridiculous. I think people were fighting that this charge would be hidden because she had just turned 18. If you can imagine how insane. So, a 19-year-old who has 9 court cases pending in London will benefit only partially from a new law effective Tuesday that requires secret proceedings for juveniles with committing major crimes, right? So, Corianna Jenkins' court file related in January 14, 2018 stabbing of a 21-year-old man in Franklin Street, Norwich, was sealed, according to court officials, because she was 17 years old when she and another man allegedly stabbed a 21-year-old man. She's charged with first-degree assault and attempted first-degree assault, and the case is being heard in London. Wait a minute, I'm confused. I didn't know she was 7. So wait. She was 17. Jenkins charges of attempted murder, assault, robbery, and other crimes in Connecticut with the October 16, 2018 shooting and stabbing women man will be tried publicly. Wait. What are you saying? Does she have 2 stabbings? She has 2 stabbings. You have got to be kidding me. Court files related on the January 14th, 2018 stabbing. So there was a January 14th, 2018 stabbing of a 21-year-old man. That will be sealed because she was 17. By the way, I'm reading a public newspaper, just for the record. This is public news. And another man allegedly stabbed 21. She is charged with first-degree assault and attempted first-degree assault in the case. Jenkins' charge of attempted murder and assault, robbery, and other crimes in Connecticut with the October 16, 2018. There are 2 different shootings. Holy cow. She stabbed 2 people in 1 year. This is insane. Someone tell me I'm reading this wrong, but I don't think I am. This is insane. They said we won't even put that, the judge can't even see this when sentencing her. Someone who has 2 attempted murder charges spanning the course of less than a year. Can't make it up. and stabbing a wounded man will be tried publicly since she was 18 when the alleged crimes occurred. So this was, see, we have a playlist called Act 19187, which was some crazy legislation that Connecticut passed. So you can check out that playlist where we cover people who are they're under the age of 21 when they committed certain crimes. But under Public Act 19187, which lawmakers passed unanimously during the final hours of the Connecticut General Assembly in 2019 session, court appearance and trials for juveniles aged 15 to 17 will be conducted in secret in cases that were transferred from juvie to adult court due to seriousness of the charge. Jenkins is being held on $1 million bond. In Norwich stabbing case, a 21-year-old victim told police that 2 days earlier he had arranged to buy Del's lettuce from Jenkins when Jenkins was robbed while waiting to make the transaction. According to a search warrant affidavit in the case, the victim said Jenkins had texted his roommate that she would get back at him for the robbery. I mean, if he robbed her, I mean, she did mention this in the parole hearing. I guess you know, you play stupid games. And maybe that's why the DA gave a lighter sentence. But keep in mind, this is their second time. But they can't take that into account. But there's more in her jacket, by the way. So he sustained stab wounds to the face, abdomen, and extremities in the alleged attack by Jenkins and another assailant. According to the affidavit, he was left with permanent scars and nerve damage to his leg. There's even more nerve damage in his legs. Unbelievable. Jenkins, whose birthday is in March, had turned 18 by the time she allegedly carried out the Wyndham shooting and stabbing of 20-year-old Alex Santana of Montville. On October 16, 2018, Troop K officers were dispatched to Bricktop Road in Wingham for a reported disturbance. Upon arrival, state police found a man who had been shot and stabbed. The unidentified victim was flown to Lifestar helicopter to Hartford Hospital. He survived. In addition to this case, Jenkins has pending charges of the Devil's Lettuce possession, third-degree assault, disorderly conduct, evading responsibility, traffic offenses including driving with suspended license, interference with police, and breach of peace. So this woman with these charges pending, a prior stabbing, and then the current attempted murder, and then in prison catches an assault charge, not a write-up, an assault charge. And she says the words, well, it was assault because she didn't fight back. No, that means you beat the F out of her. She didn't fight back. Thing to say. And that means you jumped her, you know? That means you jumped her and you beat the F out of her. That's what that means. She didn't fight back. Unbelievable. Connecticut is crazy. Let's just be real. It is not about protecting the innocent, protecting its constituency, making sure that violent criminals are not. They didn't even ask, like, what makes you so angry? Well, what, you know, like, you know, you can go and rob back the other dealer without stabbing and shooting him too. Like, there are other ways to do it. It's just, there's rage though. There's rage in it. But you probably wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. She did make her special parole, but I can't. I have an impossible time believing that we're not going to see her again in some capacity, if not in the news. You know what I'm saying? But there you have it.
He was shot at least once. But he was stabbed several times. Can you recall how many times he stabbed him?
No, I can't.
You know, he said that he wanted his intestines to be exposed. That's how close it was to his, losing his life.